I'm waiting to see something outside of the most standard playbook you've seen from a mech. Pitch, load, shoot for turn one. Maybe we'll see something else, maybe not. But he is shooting, so that is giving Dan an opportunity to filter out his hand. Perhaps with the thought that, if Brute is going to be discarding cards and they're on an aggressive build where it's difficult to chip away with the club, that maybe decking them out or running their deck very thin is a possibility in this matchup. Oh,
Here we go. Both players are just going to set their life totals, it looks like.
an important thing to keep track of in a game where your life total determines if you win or not.
That is true.
Oh, another thing I'm keen to note here is that although Dante does effectively have 6 armor, it's only on 2 pieces of equipment. So on those big blowout turns, if Dan plays it in such a way where the combat chain is continuous, only a maximum of 4 can be blocked.
Yes.
Which it may matter when you're looking at, not being able to block with cards from your hand and only having equipments left. So we're seeing a 0 to 60, and it doesn't look boosted, although being defended with a red barraging beatdown. That's very interesting to see.
It looks like he took 1 damage there. Now it will be Dan's turn.
My question is, if he's blocking with red barraging beatdown, what else does he have in his hand?
That's
because
true.
There are a lot of cards in Brute that are either just generically resource cards or they exist in the deck purely because they have 6 attack, not because you actually intend to ever do anything but discard them. Barraging Beatdown is
correct.
one of those cards. It's generally high value. But it makes sense now that we're seeing the CNC come out. Barraging Beatdown wouldn't have been able to buff that. Maybe he was filtering, looking for something else. Maybe a Pummel, if that's in this deck.
Yep. And we're seeing 2 locked and loadeds blocking the CNC for 6. Looks like Dan will arsenal and pass. If you're Dante, you're pretty happy with that first turn from Dan there.
Yeah, I'd say decently so. He does now have that card in Arsenal though, and the difference in explosiveness between a 5-card Blood Rush Bellow turn and a 4-card Blood Rush Bellow turn can be very, very big, especially knowing you have to pay 4 resources just to get the claws off. So maybe I'm happy with it. Maybe I'm worried about what's coming up next. But we haven't had enough turns in the game to see who's pulled what threats out of their deck so far. Dante looking like he's opting for another... Oh, the counter CNC after loading and shooting the pistol.
Once again, effective to block, taking 2 cards out of Dan's hand, making that 5-card turn only 3.
And it looks like he's content with waiting rather than trying to make something happen here. And here's where we see on the off turns, those claws are disappointing. 2 resources for 3 attack it doesn't hit that 4 breakpoint of the club. It doesn't, push that chip damage. It's just 1 card.
Yeah. Now we're seeing Dante swing in for 2, and Dan elected to take it. We'll load up the pistol and the chamber. Coming in with a zipper hit here, which hits a red zipper hit, I believe, and I think the one he played is blue.
It may be a yellow. I'm not sure.
Now he's coming in for 2 with the pistol, arsenaling, and passing.
So Dan's held on to this 5-card hand. That card has been in his arsenal. He has the Tunic counter now as well.
Ooh.
Art of War. So He's banishing 1 to draw 2. And is he choosing +1s or go against this turn? I wonder if we can get some type of indication for that. I'm sure it'll become apparent later in the turn, but it'd be interesting to talk about now.
Yeah, I wonder. It depends if he thinks he has. I guess he would know if he has a Blood Rush Bellow turn or what. He does have the beatdown.
Another red one, it seems. So banishing that beast within, it left the game from somewhere other than the combat chain, but it was banished, not sent to the graveyard, so the draw effect does not trigger off.
Correct, and it looks like Dante will banish one of his cards for Intimidate. Here comes the Alpha Rampage. See, that Beast Within does trigger. He was able to add a Pack Hunt to his hand, taking 1 life worth of damage.
So Dante, unfortunately, doesn't have the defense react in arsenal, it looks like. So he's taking that bonus damage from barraging beatdown. That's a big turn. And he took a total of 12 like there, which means that the +1 was opted for off of Art of War, I believe.
Yes. All right, so it looks like the pistol's coming in for 2.
It would have been interesting to see if Go Again were chosen, and you know you're discarding Beast Within. Maybe you choose the Go Again to fish for a yellow and swing the club after that Alpha Rampage.
Yes, or swing one of the claws, I guess.
Yes, sorry, one of the claws.
Looks like we're high speed impacting here. Coming in for 2, which takes another barraging beatdown out of Dan's hand.
So is that the 3rd red, or was the barraging beatdown we saw last turn a different color?
I'm not sure. Looks like he's activating his Teklo. Ooh, you don't like to see that. He lost a induction chamber, gaining the 2 resource points. Going to 4 to find probably induction chamber, the last one left in his deck here.
I would imagine so, because a single purifier against Brute, which is generally a deck that only has 3 blocks, or a class that only has 3 blocks, I should say. So he will get to draw off the effect of Spark of Genius to see if he wants to Arsenal at the end of his turn. Oh, he did opt for the
The only thing I can think there is maybe he's only running 2 chambers in this matchup. I don't know why, but
possibly. We have been seeing him boost quite aggressively. So he may be going for the perfectly timed Arg Smash. That'll be an interesting roll.
oh my.
Does he use the Gambler's Gloves here?
I don't know, you just wasted 4 resources to pull that one out. It's sad to see it go this early. I don't know what Dante's thinking of here.
I think this is the moment he needs to commit to either an item or a boost strategy. So it looks like he definitely wants to keep those items around.
Oh no. And yep, unfortunately, Demos, it looks like he broke those items in half. Now he's coming in with a Pack Hunt.
So Dante figuring out what we're intimidating here. Oh. Tabletop Simulator having fun with the cards there. It'll be interesting to see. So even though the game looks quite even in terms of life total, Dante is down his gambler's gloves and his items. And
Yeah.
as you get lower and lower against Brute, especially against a Brute with claws who still has 3 Blood Rush Bellows left in their deck, I'd say probably around 20 life is when you start getting very, very concerned, even if you have 6 points of armor. Because one big combo turn plus, you know, a couple of reckless swings and maybe a stray alpha rampage, and that damage becomes unblockable and frightening very fast. Dante opting to take the damage here.
He only blocked with 1 card from his hand, so he blocked 3 of it.
Well, he
We'll
can
see
no
what he
longer
can do.
he can no longer pitch to repeatedly chip.
Yeah.
With that chamber.
It looks like the CNC will be blocked fully here.
So we see the 3rd Beast Within coming out against those claws. Now the question is, has Dante arsenaled an offensive card or a defensive card? If he's arsenaled a high octane, I think he'd be very happy to take this 3 damage and respond with a 5-card turn. If not, then he might play it a little bit slower.
It looks like he's going to block with a 0 to 60 to take no damage.
Responding with another
coming
0
in.
to 60. So
Coming in for 4. Interesting turn by Dante there, electing to play Plasma Purifier. At the end of the turn, it looks like Anne is going to Remembrance back the Arg Smash. Probably a CNC and an Alpha Rampage.
I think those were probably his 3 big choices. Maybe he would have wanted one of those red barraging beatdowns, but we're seeing yellow. We're seeing Blood Rush Bellow pitch for Blood Rush Bellow. So he's gonna have 1 resource floating. He's discarded his last card in the Savage Swing, so the claws do now have go again, and they're coming in for 5 instead of.
So he's up to 4 resources. 2, obviously here comes claws. 5. Dante electing to block with a Spark of Genius to block 3 of it.
Presumably, we're gonna look at, pitching that last card and playing a 2-cost attack from Arsenal or something similar to that. Could be a pack hunt. It could be. This could be Savage Feast, discarding Barraging Beatdown. So coming in for 8 damage, buffed off of Blood Rush, unblockable, intimidating Dante's last card from that 6 cost, or that 6 attack discard, and allowing a draw. Dan may arsenal this and just get another shot at a 5
A 5-card hand. It looks like that's exactly what he's going to do here. Oh, he elected to not arsenal the card. Interesting.
I mean, there's a lot of cards you don't want to be arsenaling in Brute. Those kind of awkward yellow attacks that really only exist for being 6 attack, or maybe a blue resource card of some type that he would rather pitch than have stuck in there.
Looks as though the gun's coming in for 3, which Dan will take.
He's opting to try to push towards that big turn. Ooh, Arg Smash, interesting.
Just really not wanting Dante to have any sort of items at all. That's a 5. That'll get rid of that one as well.
Another big roll. Not that he needed it, but it's useful for style.
Yeah. Now he's coming in with a pack hunt, as we thought. He pitched a barraging beatdown for that. Interesting.
He's definitely trying to keep tempo up. The alternative would have probably been still pitch the barraging beatdown at that point, and then swing with a claw to Arsenal the pack hunt. But I think he's more interested in trying to keep this pressure up because he knows one more. He can afford to take one turn of damage from Dash, but if he draws an explosive 4-card combo, Dash likely will be able to survive. Or even if Dante can manage to survive, be within that reckless swing range. We're seeing a red zipper hit, landing the boost here, so 5 damage, blocking with
Beast within. A CNC coming in for 6.
With no arsenal here. So I'd be interested in seeing if he just blocks blocks with the armor to preserve that life total, but otherwise enjoy the rest of his hand.
Yep.
A lot of times, if a brute defends with 1 card from their hand, it means they may be interested in just filtering it out to better control what they want to discard. But in this case, it was blocked with Beast Within, which is normally something you want to keep in there for that purpose. But this turn looks like it's going to be CNC and then Arsenal. And next turn maybe is going to be that big blowout.
Like Dante blocking for 7. You see the armor coming into play.
He wants to keep that Arsenal card an awful lot. Is this going to be a big high octane turn to try to gain back some tempo?
So we're about to find out here. We're going to pitch for 3. Yes, it is. Excellent call, Demos. Here comes the high octane, drawing him a card.
So you don't need chambers if you're getting tons of tons of action points off of high octane. Because afterwards,
Looks like he's coming in for 3. Blocked.
Ooh, and the tome turn here, drawing those extra 2 cards, seeing if he can get maybe another boost card. Ideally, a cheap red boost and another blue. That way he could play the boost and then shoot up with the pistol. Maybe even destroying the Achilles if he has the resources for that 1 extra pistol hit.
Potentially, yes.
A much more difficult decision to block in that instance. I think they're talking and clarifying how many resources and how many action points, because that seems to be the usual course on these high octane turns. Unfortunately, another blue boost. Dante, I don't think, saw the reds that he was hoping for.
True, but he got the turn through. It looks like he took both the pistol shot and the damage from the combustible courier there, dropping Dan to 7.
Ooh, a 6 on the scab skin leathers. I'm assuming that this is going to be very, very difficult for Dante to block. 3 action points. He's got a resource floating. At worst, I'm assuming this is going to be Command and Conquer into Claw Claw. Otherwise, maybe he's got a best case scenario. Maybe there's something else there that could extend the combo, or any 2-cost attack and a blue to pitch for it. So Savage Feast extending the combo, double intimidating as Massacre was discarded off the effect of an attack action card. So we're seeing Dante lose 2 defensive cards off this play, while Dan pulls himself an extra card to play with.
This is going to be a huge turn here.
So they're currently tied on life, so Dante's Skullcap isn't even turned on. Perhaps it will be for the next attack.
A Savage Feast comes in for how much there, Demos?
It's a red, so it's coming in for 6, which isn't lethal, but it is still terrifying. Being on 1 life versus Brute, when you've seen them pitch Reckless Swing, you know it's coming around. Reckless Swing can deal you 2 damage off of anything. And it's very rare that a Brute doesn't get that damage off, because you can just, if you're holding anything other than a potion, you can block with your non-attacks first, and then force that 6 attack discard.
Exactly, so I guess we'll see what Dante does here.
He's thinking about it. This is a big decision, most certainly.
Goes to 1. Interesting choice here.
And I think that means there is some type of red card in the arsenal there for Dan. Or maybe it's even a Reckless Swing. Otherwise, I think we would have seen the pitch into the club to force that extra block from Dante.
Absolutely, and so it looks like he's boosting, and it has hit.
So covering all 4 from that with the last point of armor. Good to save the armor for, the few on-hit effects that are in this mech deck.
Yes. Now he's coming for 5 with a red zipper hit, it looks like.
It does look like. So Dante is currently representing theoretically lethal, 5 from zipper hit plus 2 from that already charged pistol. I think the question now becomes, does Dan block with the tunic, and is he confident that his 4 cards can push that extra point of damage, knowing that Dante also has 2 more armor? Or does he bide his time and keep that tempo and force it?
Looks like he's blocking 6 here, then taking the 2 from the pistol.
Yeah, with a Massacre and a Wrecker Romp, which would otherwise be very good combo cards on his turn. Rolling the Scab Skins again, knowing that he has the insurance policy from his Gambler's Gloves that Dante can't counteract. He also has the Skullhorn available for if he does need to go fishing on an awkward turn, but it looks like this wasn't that turn. 6 damage, intimidating 2. Dante needs to block with 2 cards out of that hand. His deck is almost all 3 blocks. I believe we've seen a Tome that covers for 2, and however many items do we have left in there that don't block at all. But he covers, and he's got 2 cards to play with.
He needs 1 to be blue, and it looks like there it is. Blue Throttle. Do a high octane, interesting.
Oh.
Playing the induction chamber and passing.
At this point in the game, I don't think the induction chamber was... Oh, and here's a Blood Rush Bellow. I think Dante would have definitely liked to see a blue or a red boost card, and basically he was using the high octane as a pseudo induction chamber just to be able to shoot that distance. But we're seeing a Blood Rush Bellow paid for by the tunic, discarding when there's 3 cards left in hand, hitting the red CNC, which is probably the best one to hit. Oh, that's 4 intimidates. 1 off of Blood Rush Bellow, 1 off of the card text of Alpha Rampage, 1 off of the Rhinar effect from the Massacre that was discarded, and 1 off of the Massacre effect from the Massacre that was discarded. So that's 11 damage, and Dante's intimidated all 4 cards. That's the game. on a very
Is the game.
fruit turn.
What an excellent turn by Dan.